The Chicago sky hung heavy with gray clouds, and an unseasonably cold rain traced thin, glittering streaks down the restaurant's windows. Inside La Piazza, the warmth of simmering sauces and the rhythmic clatter of pans filled the air. Olivia Brown moved gracefully among her team, her dark hair tied neatly under her chef's cap, her white coat immaculate despite hours of non-stop work. Steam rose from the pans like ghosts of forgotten flavors, swirling around her as if obeying her unspoken commands. "Olivia, is the risotto for table 9 ready?" Chef Marco's booming voice cut through the din of the kitchen. "Just one more minute," she replied, stirring carefully, adding a final touch of lemon zest and parmesan. The scent filled the air, rich, creamy, perfect. Marco approached, peered over her shoulder, and nodded in approval. As always, perfection. Olivia smiled faintly, her mind half on the dish, half on her future. One more season, just one more season, and I'll have enough saved to open my own place. 10 years, 10 relentless years, of 12-hour shifts, missed birthdays, and catering gigs that lasted till dawn. Every penny she saved went toward a single dream, her own restaurant, her space, where creativity and heart would meet on every plate. After closing, Marco patted her shoulder. "You know, Olivia, when you finally leave to start your restaurant, I'll be proud, but I'll miss you." "That's still a little while away," she said with a smile, though deep down she knew she was close, very close. That night, as she returned to her small but cozy apartment in Lincoln Park, her phone vibrated, the screen lit up. "Mom." Olivia hesitated. Every conversation with her mother seemed to orbit the same sun, her younger sister, Brittany. "Hi, Mom," Olivia said, setting down her keys. "Olivia, I have wonderful news." Martha's voice carried its usual enthusiasm, cheerful, dramatic, and just a bit theatrical. "Can you come for dinner tomorrow? It's about Brittany. You'll be so happy." Of course it was about Brittany. It was always about Brittany. Still, Olivia agreed. "Sure. I'll come by after my shift." The next evening, Olivia drove to her parents' suburban home. The rain had cleared, leaving the streets slick and shining under the streetlights. As she parked and stepped out, she saw the house she had grown up in, neat, comfortable, and filled with memories that now felt oddly distant. Her father, George Brown, opened the door. "Oh, Olivia, you made it," he said, his tone polite but detached, as if she were a guest rather than his daughter. Inside, laughter echoed from the living room. Martha and Brittany were sitting on the sofa, giggling like old friends sharing a secret. Then Olivia saw it, the glitter of a large diamond ring on Brittany's hand. "Olivia," Brittany squealed, rushing toward her. "Look." She held up her hand, the diamond catching the light. "Jason proposed last night." Jason Ellis, of that Ellis family, one of Chicago's richest, most influential real estate dynasties. "Congratulations," Olivia said sincerely, though a strange pang twisted in her chest. "The wedding will be in 6 months," Brittany gushed, "at the Blossom Grand Hotel. The Ellis family wants it elegant and formal, top of the line. Mom and Dad are already helping with the planning." Dinner followed, though it felt more like a press conference about the wedding than a family meal. Brittany spoke animatedly about dresses, venues, and flowers. Olivia nodded when required, but her mind drifted back to her dream, to her restaurant, the one she was so close to bringing to life. "Olivia," her father's voice cut through her thoughts, "next Saturday, we're having dinner with the Ellis family. You'll come, won't you?" "Of course," she said. "Where will it be?" "La Piazza," her mother answered proudly. "When Brittany told Jason's parents that you work there, they insisted on dining in your restaurant. William Ellis is quite the gourmet." Olivia's stomach tightened. The Ellis family at La Piazza? That was both an honor and immense pressure. Still, it could be an opportunity if she played it right. The following Saturday, the dining room of La Piazza sparkled under soft golden lights. Olivia worked with precision, personally preparing the dishes for the Ellis table. Each plate was a masterpiece of color, aroma, and taste. Near the end of the evening, the maitre d' entered the kitchen with a silver-haired man in an impeccable navy suit. "May I speak with the chef?" he asked, his voice calm and authoritative. "That would be Olivia," Marco said, smiling. "She prepared your meal." William Ellis stepped forward, offering his hand. "That was extraordinary," he said. "You're talented, Miss Brown. Truly talented." Olivia smiled, slightly flushed. "Thank you, sir. I'm honored." Brittany, who had followed William into the kitchen, forced a smile that didn't reach her eyes. For a fleeting moment, jealousy flickered across her face. In the weeks that followed, William Ellis returned to La Piazza more than once. He asked to be seated at Olivia's section and occasionally visited the kitchen to chat about food, philosophy, and Chicago's growing culinary scene. He spoke to her not as a customer, but as an equal, someone who understood passion, craft, and ambition. But then, one ordinary morning, everything changed. As Olivia logged into her bank account to check her savings, her weekly ritual, her heart froze. Her balance read, $327.45. She blinked, refreshed, checked again, still the same. No, that can't be right, she whispered. The customer service representative on the phone confirmed the nightmare. A large withdrawal, every cent, made 2 weeks earlier, and because it was a joint account with her parents' names, it was legal. When she called home, George answered. "Oh, that? We used it for Brittany's wedding," he said casually, as if discussing groceries. "You what?" Olivia's voice trembled. "That was my life savings. 10 years of work." "It's family money," George said sternly. "The account's in both our names. Brittany's wedding is important, she's marrying into the Ellis family. It's an investment in our future." Martha's voice chimed in from the background, cool and dismissive. "It's for the family, Olivia. You can always save again." Something broke inside her. "You used my money, and didn't even ask me?" Brittany's voice cut through the argument, sharp, careless, cruel. "Oh, come on, Liv. Don't make this about you. You're not getting married anytime soon. It's better this way, at least someone's using the money for something meaningful." "Something meaningful?" Olivia's voice cracked. "That money was my dream." "Your little restaurant?" Brittany smirked. "It's time you grew up." George slammed his hand on the table. "That's enough. If you're going to behave like this, so selfish, so ungrateful, you're no longer welcome in this house." Olivia stared at him, stunned. "You'd throw me out, over this?" "Family comes first," he said coldly. "And right now, Brittany is family." "Then I guess I'm not," she whispered, tears burning her eyes. "You didn't just steal my money, you stole my trust." That night, Olivia sat alone in her apartment. The city lights flickered outside her window. Rage, heartbreak, disbelief, all churned inside her chest. Then, something inside her hardened. She reached for the wedding brochure on her desk. The Blossom Grand Hotel. She dialed the number. "Hello, Blossom Grand Hotel, this is reservations." "This is Martha Brown," Olivia said calmly. "Please cancel the Brown-Ellis wedding reservation. The family has decided to use another venue." Her hands trembled when she hung up, but her heart felt strangely lighter. The next morning, her phone rang. "Olivia," George's panicked voice shouted. "The hotel called. What have you done? They said we cancelled the booking." "Oh, did they?" Olivia said coolly. "Maybe you should ask Martha about it." "Olivia, don't play games. The Ellis family will be furious. The wedding is in a week." She paused. "Then you'd better figure something out, like I had to." And she hung up. For a moment, silence filled her apartment. Then, Olivia opened her drawer and pulled out a small, elegant card. "William Ellis, Chairman, Ellis Properties." She hesitated only a second before dialing. "Mr. Ellis, this is Olivia Brown. I need to tell you something important." "Of course," came his calm, steady voice. "What's wrong?" So she told him everything, about her savings, her parents' betrayal, being thrown out, and yes, even canceling the venue. When she finished, silence lingered. Then William said quietly, "They came to me yesterday asking for more money. I had my suspicions. Thank you for confirming the truth, Olivia." "I don't want to cause problems," she said softly. "I just thought you should know. What your parents did is not just immoral, it's illegal," he said firmly. "Don't worry, Olivia. We'll handle this properly." That afternoon, a knock sounded at Olivia's door. When she opened it, Jason and William stood there. Jason's expression was tight, filled with shame. "Olivia," he said quietly, "I had no idea. I'm so sorry. What my fiancé's family did is unforgivable." Olivia met his gaze. You don't owe me an apology, Jason. You didn't do it. But I need to think about this wedding, Jason said, his voice low. If this is what lies ahead, maybe I need to reconsider. William placed a hand on his son's shoulder. Justice will be done. And Olivia, he said, meeting her eyes with quiet respect, you may have lost your savings, but you haven't lost everything. People like you rebuild. Olivia's turning point. The next afternoon, a soft drizzle blurred the skyline of downtown Chicago. Olivia stood by her window, holding a cup of lukewarm coffee that had long lost its warmth. She stared blankly at the street below, her mind replaying every moment of the last few days, the betrayal, the confrontation, the phone calls. When a knock echoed on her door, she almost didn't move, but when she opened it, she froze in shock. Jason? He stood there, his usually calm eyes shadowed with confusion and pain. Behind him, William Ellis held an umbrella, rain dripping from his tailored coat. May we come in? William asked gently. Olivia nodded silently and stepped aside. They entered her modest apartment, the smell of coffee and faint traces of last night's cooking filling the air. Jason ran a hand through his damp hair. Olivia, I'm sorry to barge in like this, but after everything that's happened, I needed to talk to you in person. Olivia's heart raced. Jason, you don't owe me an apology. Jason's jaw tightened. Actually, I do. My family told me what happened with your parents, and then I confronted Brittany. William set his umbrella aside, his expression grave. We've already spoken to her as well. Olivia swallowed hard. Brittany is. She's not remorseful. William interrupted gently but firmly. In fact, she insists this is all your fault, that you ruined her wedding, her reputation, and her happiness. Olivia felt her throat tighten. My fault. The words echoed in her mind like shards of glass. She'd been blamed for things before. Brittany had always found a way to shift responsibility, but this time, it stung deeper than ever. She's really changed that much? Olivia murmured, her voice trembling. Or maybe, she's always been this way, and I just refused to see it. Jason's shoulders slumped. I don't even recognize her anymore. The person I fell in love with wouldn't have done this. The silence that followed was thick with regret. Rain tapped softly against the window, marking each painful second. Then William stepped forward, his tone measured and sincere. Olivia, I came today not just as Jason's father, but as someone who believes in fairness and talent. You've been wronged, and I don't take that lightly. Olivia looked up, puzzled. What do you mean? I'm an investor, William said, meeting her eyes steadily, and I believe your culinary skill is exceptional. I want to help you open your restaurant. For a moment, Olivia forgot how to breathe. You want to invest in me? Yes, William replied simply. However, the situation with Jason and Brittany complicates things. Still, business is business, and talent, your kind of talent, deserves recognition, not suppression. Olivia's eyes widened in disbelief. I don't know what to say. Before she could continue, her phone began to buzz relentlessly. The caller ID flashed. Brittany. Jason frowned. You might want to answer that. Olivia hesitated, then swiped the screen. Brittany? Her sister's voice erupted through the line, shrill and panicked. Olivia, what have you done? Jason says he's reconsidering the wedding. You've ruined everything. Brittany, calm down. Calm down? You cancelled the venue. My fiancé's furious. Our families are humiliated. Olivia clenched her jaw. You stole my life savings. Brittany, you left me with nothing. Stole? How dare you? Brittany shrieked. You've always been selfish. Have you ever done anything for this family? Ever? Olivia's breath hitched. Selfish. That was the word her parents had always used to gild her. Her eyes filled with tears. And before she could respond, Jason took the phone from her hand. Brittany, he said coldly, his voice firm and controlled. It's Jason. Come to my house. Now. Bring your parents. We're going to settle this. Jason, please. He ended the call and placed the phone on the table. I'm sorry you had to hear that, he said softly. Olivia wiped her eyes. I'm sorry you have to deal with this at all. It's your wedding, your life. Jason shook his head. You didn't ruin anything. Olivia, you just told the truth. William placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. And that's why you need to be part of this meeting tomorrow. We'll bring your parents, Brittany, and everyone involved. I'll handle the legal side. Me? Olivia asked in disbelief. You want me there? Yes. William nodded. Because this isn't just about a wedding, it's about accountability. He straightened, his tone firm. Here are my conditions. Your parents will be held legally responsible for the unauthorized withdrawal. They'll sign a repayment agreement, and if you agree to handle the catering, the wedding will proceed as planned. Olivia blinked. You want me to cater my sister's wedding? William smiled faintly. You're the best chef I know. I refuse to let your talent go unnoticed. In exchange, I'll invest $300,000 into your restaurant. 300,000? She whispered, stunned. Jason added, it's fair, but your parents must acknowledge their wrongdoing in writing. Olivia's heart pounded. Her dream, her restaurant, was suddenly within reach again, but it came at a heavy emotional price. I need time to think, she said finally. Take all the time you need, William said gently, but decide soon. Tomorrow morning, we'll meet at my home. After they left, Olivia stood alone in her quiet apartment. The rain had stopped, leaving behind the faint hum of city traffic. She stared out the window as night deepened over Chicago, torn between justice and forgiveness, family and freedom. A decision and a reckoning. Hours later, the shrill sound of her phone shattered the silence. Mom. Olivia answered with a weary sigh. Yes? Olivia. Martha's voice was trembling, desperate. What's going on, Mr. Ellis came with a lawyer. Your father's furious, Brittany's hysterical. I told them the truth, Olivia said evenly. About the money, about everything. Sweetheart, you shouldn't have done that. We're family. Olivia laughed bitterly. Family? Is that what you call it? Because family doesn't steal their daughter's future. Please, Martha sobbed. Brittany's life will be ruined. Her marriage might fall apart. Isn't there anything we can do to make this right? Olivia took a long, shaky breath. Mr. Ellis said the wedding could still go on if I cater it. I'll do that, but not for you, or Dad, or Brittany. Then for who? For myself, Olivia said quietly, to prove that I'm more than what you think I am. She hung up before her mother could answer. Then, with renewed resolve, she called William. I accept your terms, she said firmly. Good, William replied. Tomorrow we finalize the contracts. I've already arranged a new venue, Grand Lake View Hotel. It's better than the last one. Olivia's lips curved into a faint smile. Thank you. No, Olivia, William said, his voice warm. Thank you. Talent like yours deserves every chance to shine. When she ended the call, Olivia sat in silence for a long time. Then, for the first time in weeks, she smiled, a quiet, bittersweet smile that carried both pain and hope. Tomorrow, everything would change.